We all know that Albert Einstein was the greatest genius in history. He was such a genius that he alone could wrestle more brains than thousands of scientists. What we humans cannot understand, Einstein thought and understood and made it easy for the whole world. Albert Einstein was a physicist who left the whole world surprised and disturbed by making the theory of relativity E equals to mc square and the laws of photoelectric effect. And that's why he won the Nobel Prize. Seeing his advice on extraordinary thinking and understanding, people used to understand that Einstein has a special brain which is much more different than we common humans. Einstein himself knew this. For this reason, he did not want research on any part of his body after death. Rather, they had given instructions that their bodies should be burned to ashes after death. But then it happened that Einstein feared. When Einstein died in April 1955 in Princeton Hospital, the doctor who came for autopsy, i.e., to know the cause of death, he secretly removed Einstein's brain, because he had the curiosity to know what is like in the brain of the world's greatest genius. MTV's video again. The doctor who stole Nazarene Einstein's brain was Thomas Harvey, who was more interested in studying his special brain than what happened to him. A few days later, when Princeton Hospital found out about Dr. Harvey's actions, he had to quit his job, but Dr. Harvey managed to get permission from Einstein's son Hans Albert to reveal the secrets hidden inside his father's special brain. From this day on, a long wave of this brain began. Dr. Harvey was a pathologist who only knew how to do post-mortem. It was his only thought that he would be able to research the brain of such a great genius. Now the condition was that Dr. Harvey had lost his job at Princeton Hospital and his pathologist. Einstein's brain, which had already been preserved by Dr. Harvey, took it to the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where he took several photos of the brain and then cut it into 240 small pieces and preserved each piece in a separate jar and hid it in his basement. On this issue, Dr. Harvey used to quarrel with his wife many times because his wife often threatened that she would pick up this brain and throw it somewhere. One day the quarrel escalated so much that both the wives had to divorce and separate, and Dr. Harvey took the brain and went to Wichita, Kansas, where he started working as a medical supervisor in a biological testing lab, and here he would try to study Einstein's brain a lot in his spare time. After this, many times he left different jobs and roamed around the cities with these brains. Many years had passed, but the doctor could not do some special research on the brain of Harvey Einstein. On the contrary, his medical license was cancelled. And then he started working in a plastic factory. Then he made a good decision for the first time that he would send different parts of his brain to the best neuropathologists around the world for detailed research. So they did that. In 1985, 30 years after the brain was stolen, a study on Einstein's brain was published for the first time. Over the next 28 years, neuropathologists around the world published many studies on this genius brain. Einstein's brain was very different from the human brain. The largest difference was found in the corpus callosum of the brain. Now here it is important to know that the human brain is divided into two different parts. Whatever work a person does is first a processor in a part of the brain, and then the brain gives signals to that part of our body. The left brain controls the right side of our body, while the right brain controls the left side of our body. In addition, 19% of people's left brain works during speaking, understanding, mathematical calculations, and writing, while the right brain has the ability of recognizing creativity, shapes, art, and musical skills. Now you may be wondering, what is the role of corpus callosum in all this? Whether you are typing on a keyboard or on a mobile phone. During this time, both our hands are busy typing. Some alphabets are typed by our straight hand and some by the reverse hand. If a mistake occurred with your left hand while typing, you immediately erase that mistake by using your right hand. So this means that when there was a mistake in our right brain, it immediately gave a signal to the left brain and corrected that mistake. The two parts of the brain communicate with each other through something called the corpus callosum. And Einstein's corpus callosum was slightly larger than the average human. That is, his left and right brain had a very strong connection, because of which Einstein could imagine many complex problems and situations at the same time. In addition to the larger corpus callosum, Einstein's brain pattern was also quite similar to that of ordinary humans, and researchers believed that because of this, The flow of neurons in the brain was much better. The good flow of neurons meant that the power of their mathematical calculations was much stronger. Albert Einstein had the ability to solve complex mathematical problems with the help of his brain without pen and paper. Another reason for having more neurons was also stated in the research papers. When Einstein's brain was weighed, his weight was 1230 grams while that of ordinary humans was 1400. Researchers believe that the lining of their brains was very thin, due to which more neurons were found in them. But the biggest question was still whether Einstein was born with such a special brain, or did it change after his birth? Albert Einstein was born unable to speak for 5 years. Children begin to speak at the age of 2 or 3. Even when he started speaking, he did not like to speak much, but was always lost in his thoughts. They had very little power to memorize those. He even had difficulty remembering simple maths tables. He was a master of processing math and numbers in logical ways, not memorizing them by rattling. Einstein spread in every other subject in school life. Only math and science were the most popular subjects in which Einstein's numbers came up the most. When Albert Einstein was 12 years old, a family teacher left his geometry book with him. Amazingly, in just one day, Einstein read the entire book and cleared his geometry concepts. Not only that, but only at the age of 14 he became a master of integral and differential calculus. He had such a strong grip in math and science that when he raised his hand to ask a question in the classroom, professors started to panic because Einstein's questions often passed over the teachers. At a young age, he wanted to lock the laws of this universe into a small equation, and this is what he had made the purpose of his life. At the age of 26, Einstein surprised the whole world by publishing 4 research papers, and for this reason he was awarded a PhD degree in humanities. He was also awarded the Nobel Prize for his performance. You can only guess this from the fact that even today's science is absolutely incomplete without those theses of Einstein. Many doctors and scientists concluded that Einstein's brain became special after he was born. The biggest reason was that when he didn't get any answers to his questions, he used to look for answers with the help of his own mind. By doing this at a young age, their brains developed accordingly. Even today, this extraordinary brain of Einstein is actually present in the P Museum in America. Gisco is preserved in microscopic films. I hope you will like and share this video a lot.